it's less than a week until Evo Japan takes place. The first Master event for Tekken World Tour, the first Master Plus event. Tekken World Tour is beginning, points from the line, also an EWC qualifier. And I guess the question on everyone's mind right now is Tekken 8 ready for competition? Because Season 2 has been such a disaster. You know, I think it's no secret. And I guess I'll just get the question. I'll just answer the question out of the way. No, I don't think Tekken 8 is ready for competition. As someone who's going to be competing in that Evo Japan and is looking to compete throughout the entire year, I'll just say I'm worried. I don't think the game is ready. They've made good strides in a positive direction, but I'm still worried about, you know, where we land competitively for this game. Like, not to keep alarm bells blaring, but a new bug was actually discovered recently, in which if you do see Zafina here, Chanel was demonstrating here, with Zafina, if you do a heat dash move, so if you do one of your heat engages and you do the heat dash, while Zafina's in tarantula stance, it doesn't spend the heat gauge, and they can still get launched as if they have done the heat dash. Shout out to Chanel for displaying this. So it can kind of just go on infinitely. So if you have a heat dash move that hits low to the ground, and Zafina happens to be in tarantula stance, this is something that can happen. And Chanel demonstrated that you can, you know, if you get the situation in the wall, you can get a 999 damage, just full combo here. There's nothing Zafina can do about. I find it quite funny as well because that's a lot of damage. I've recently been playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Recently finished the game on stream, and that's just a damage number that I've seen quite a bit. So yeah, it just made me think of that. I love that game, by the way. I might do a video talking about it. Did a full playthrough on my stream. You can check that out. But I might do a video, make some shorts on it. I don't know. Love that game. Fantastic game. But it feels weird to enjoy a game so much. You know, I've not done that in a while. But anyway, so yeah, I don't believe Tekken 8 is ready for competition right now. And I'll also break down some of the reasons why. But also want to talk about the good that they've done, because again, like, I think they have made some decent changes. Like if we take this situation here, you know, let's look at the heat engage situation, for example. Now heat engages are now only +9. I think this has been such a healthy change for the game. And I'm going to show an example with Reina, because we've got Reina, you know, on the screen right there. So let's do a heat engage. Send 3. I was sad to think Reina heat engage, right? So send 3 into forward 4. This is something like Reina could do there's nothing you could do about this, right? If Reina did heat engage and she did forward 4, you'd have to block this. You know, only +2 on block, but again, still plus frames to continue her pressure to go from. On block, something that you had to hold. And I actually I was checking this out mid-match. I was in a game against Joker. This was just as the emergency patch had landed. And, you know, he was doing a lot of heat engage to forward 4. I was like, I wonder if I can step that now. And then, you know, I was playing the game. I stepped the forward 4 and I launched. And I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then, you know, so what Joker started doing instead was he was doing heat engage, you know, into back 2. He was doing homing moves. And, you know, that's a bit slower. Maybe I could try to interrupt. I can power crush there. You can power crush a lot of options after heat engage now as well. So I thought that was super healthy. And again, I was noticing that across the board. I was like, okay, I have options to deal with, you know, heat engage. Heat engages for a lot of characters. Like I don't have to take oppressive plus frames. I can play the game. You know, there's mind games between the players now. And that was until Joker did this instead. So Reina can just do down to 1+2 after heat engage, and there actually isn't a single thing. I just tried to power crush there, didn't work. I'm gonna try sidestep left, didn't work. I'm gonna try sidestep right, didn't work. You know, so this was just like, okay, so we've replaced the problem with a new one. But I think what I don't mind as much about this is, okay, it's like it's a super strong option. Like if you block it, was +10, right? Yeah, +10 into stance. But okay, it's character specific. So we're in a situation now where some characters are gonna have super strong options to still be oppressive after heat engage. I don't know about the entire cast. The entire cast could have something looming. That's like, listen, you have to take it. You can't sidestep. You can't option select. Like if she does that down to 1+2, you just have to hold it. But other characters like Alyssa, for example, I've complained about her destroyer forward 1+2 post heat engage, and that is something you actually don't have to worry about as much anymore, right? So we show here for Alyssa, gonna do heat engage into destroyer forward 1+2. This is the entire reason I found heat engage is just so strong and so problematic. Like you'd have to block that, you have to take the chip damage and the plus frames. But now if she does this, you can sidestep. You'll get hit by the first part. You'll get hit by the first part. You can sidestep. the rest of whiff, and you can get a full punish in it. So I think the heat engage change has been super good. I'm still in conflicted. I'm still conflicted about the health changes. Like, I don't know how I feel about the 200 HP. One thing that I like that it's done is you kind of get to a point now in games where like both characters have spent heat and there's still like life left because you've heat bursted, you've used it, the other characters, or they've heat engaged, they've used it. And like you get to points towards the ends of games where like there's 20 seconds left to go because of the HP change where both characters don't have heat. You're just kind of playing from there. I think that's pretty good, but obviously there are still a lot of issues looming in this season. Lars is still a problem. I think characters that can regain heat in combos like Lars and Law, I think that's silly, because when you are doing a combo in this game, you see the heat meter freezes. So characters like, all Lars has to do to get heat back in combos is to just switch stance, and Lars switches stances a lot in combos. Therefore, Lars just gains heat back. Like, Lars is a character now that can heat burst, do a combo, and when you heat burst, obviously you don't have your full heat gauge, but he can heat burst, do a combo, and have a full heat gauge as if he heat engaged. I think that's a problem. I think the same with Law as well. Any character that can get heat back during combos, I think that needs to go. I think characters regaining heat anyway is a bit of an issue. But yeah, balance is still all over the place for a lot of characters. I've talked about this like more than enough. I don't think I need to illustrate that picture anymore. But yeah, I think there are some good changes. The heat engage situation is a lot more fun to play around. It's way less oppressive. Anyone you see complaining about the heat engage changes like +9 isn't enough, don't listen to them, please. Don't do that. But yeah, for the most part, like, I think they've made changes trending in the right direction. But, you know, characters are still an issue. The new moves are still too oppressive, and heat is still heat. My band-aid fix to everything would be make heat something you have to earn, and I don't know why that's just not a thing right now. I think with how strong it is, it's essentially a god mode. Joey Fury mentioned this on the most recent Heat Speak podcast that Spag does, that in games where for you to access that god mode, you have to have done something first. Either you've been beating up your opponent and it's a reward, or you're getting beat up and it's something to help you, you know, stop the beat down, right? I think it has to be something that's earned at this point. Just being able to heat burst and get access to god mode is ridiculous. And heat engages, I think, are still too strong. You'll notice a lot of moves in this game from the new season. So they took out a lot of power crush heat engages, and so then characters got additional heat engages to replace that one. And we'll take Raven, for instance, right? So what they did with Raven, I mean, again, the characters I pick out are just examples, right? I'm not doing it because I think, again, even when I'm go with the Rainer example, I'm just doing it because it's stuff that I know, because I know people be like, why are you mentioning my character? They're not good. You play Huaring, blah, blah, blah. So Raven's, while saying 3+4, is now a heat engager, right? And this is a move that used to be -14 in previous Tekken. I don't know if it was -14 in Tekken 8, because I barely play against Raven in this game. But what they did is made it heat engager, and then also just made it safe now. So again, a move that you can just kind of throw out, maybe get a chance at heat engage, but if it doesn't work, it's safe, so it's fine. You know, I think that's such an issue in this game. I think heat engages have to, if heat isn't going to be something that's earned, heat engages have to come with more risk. They can't just be safe homing mid like we see Ravens. While saying 3+4, for instance, Huaring has, you know, safe mid ones as well. Like, again, it's something across the board. I mentioned my own character just to let you guys know I'm not picking on anyone. It's something that's an issue across the board in this game. My idea for something that would be good for heat engages is like you have the heat gauge, and it gets filled up by landing your heat engagers, and then you land a heat engager and your heat bar goes up a tiny bit. You land it, it goes up a bit more, and then when your heat bar is full, if you land the heat engager, then you heat engage, or you can heat burst because it's now full. I think that's something that should be that just has to be done in this game. And the heat meter carries over between rounds, so you could win a round, not gain heat, gain it the next round, spend it, but because you spend it, you don't have it the next round. I think that would be my quickest fix to start addressing the issues in this game, because if they want heat to be as strong as it is, it simply has to be earned. And to me, that's becoming more and more of a non-negotiable. And now, something I do want to address now in this video And I'm not going to mention this in the title or the thumbnail or anything, because I don't like to, I know I don't really want to parade this for views or make this to be a thing. I want the people that engage with this to be something they want to engage with this anyway. That I don't want people to bandwagon on and spread negativity on my content. It's hard for me to explain why I don't, but I just don't want this to be the headline of this video. But it's something I do want to talk about because something's become very important to me, and is something that may end up hampering me just wanting to support this game in general. So in case you guys are unaware, recently the Rips tweeted. I'll start off with the Rips. The Rips tweeted, both Spaghetti Rip and regular Rip, I guess. And Rip tweeted, not working Tekken Tour this year / anymore. Hit me up for commentary work. Spag tweeted, ladies and lads, it was a good run. I'll not be on commentary for the Tekken World Tour. I'll still be around to work non-Tekken Tour events, hopefully, and support events where I can. Regards to everything, I'm proud of what I've done over the years. We changed the game. Now, both Rips tweeted and just announced we're not commentating Tekken World Tour this year. And as far as I'm able to understand, that is not their decision. They did not decide suddenly they want to stop commentating Tekken events and working Tekken events, and suddenly the game was so bad they don't want to work it anymore. It is now it has become a situation in which they have not been asked to redo their commentary this year. And just to peel back the veil a little bit so you guys understand how this works, at the start of the year, before Tekken World Tour happens, around this time of the year, the commentators will get an email, and these are the events we want you to work this year. These are the master events. Challenger events are up to the discretion of the TOs normally, but these are the master events we want you to work this year. And the way normally you find out you are not doing an event is you just do not get that email, and that is something that has happened. I am aware, I've been made aware that the emails have gone out this year, and Spag and Rip did not get their emails. I know this as well because I also did not get my email. Someone else that did not get their email as well is Bubsy. Bubsy also did not get his email. And I think that this is a very worrying direction, I want to say, for just Tekken and Bandai Namco in general. So like, it's hard for me to word things here in this video without, you know, I don't know how much I can reveal. Revealing too much, I don't know. I want to rip the mask off and everything, but it's kind of a situation now where, so like, I've been talking to Bubsy about this and briefly with Spag about this, and it's kind of like, you know, so for me, I'll speak for myself personally and what I'm able to because you know, obviously, so for me, also, I guess if you're a bit new, you might not be aware, but I do commentate. You know, I've commentated master events. I've commentated Tekken World Tour finals. I've commentated huge invitationals. I've worked with Bandai Namco on these events before. So it's a case of, you know, I literally did ETC finals. I commentated the ETC finals, you know, this year. I don't remember, what, 2-3 months ago now, I did ETC finals. And it feels very strange that 3 of the 5 commentators that did the ETC finals are simply not told, well, I guess not even told, you're not back for commentary this year. Now, for myself, I can sort of understand, I can be viewed as more of a commentator, as a competitor. My competitive schedule can get in the way of commentary. There have been events I've commentated and competed at the same event that can cause clashes in schedule. It can be a bit difficult, so I can understand all of that. My problem just lies in, if that is the case, just tell me, because then I'm just left to speculate as to what is the reason. Like, why have you know, I've been doing a good job to my own knowledge. I don't think I've had any major screw ups on commentary in my work. So, you know, if there's an issue, you know, what's the issue? Let me know. I can fix it. If there isn't an issue, you know, did you just want to go in a different direction? If anything, like, my situation is like, I would just prefer clarity. I think that's a professional business way to go about it. If there's an issue, just let me know, or just, hey, or just like, you know, because just let me know at some point, you know. Now, I think my issue is less pressing because of that reason. You know, I could be viewed more as a competitor. I was asked to do a master event last year, but I couldn't do it due to a scheduling conflict with me competing. So I could understand, be like, okay, we're not going to get him, but I think it is just respectful to let me know and say, listen, you're not going to be back this year. We don't want you back. Blah blah. Instead of just me hearing through the grapevine that the emails have gone out and I'm not part of it, And now for Spag and Rip, I feel like it's more concerning because again, they are viewed as just commentators, I guess. I was a bit rude. But they are viewed as commentators for the game. That is what they do. You see them at an event. Oh, you're commentating this event, right? And why I find it very worrying is, to me, their only missteps have been criticisms of Tekken 8 Season 2. Unless there's something else that I'm missing. That is, to me, their only missteps. The only thing they've done wrong. Spag has his Heat Speak podcast, and it's been critical of Tekken 8. I remember the Heat Speak before Season 2 came out, and we just had the Tekken talk. I was on there. We were very critical of these decisions, like, why are they doing this? But we're also hopeful, like, we hope we get this done. We try to be nice and respectful. But yeah, there was a lot of criticism of the direction for Season 2. Then Season 2 came out, and no one really liked it. Rip was also in the most recent Heat Speak, and had things to say about the game. And it looks like that this is a punishment or retaliation, or that is that is what the reasoning is, but like that's the only thing that can be said. So I just find that very concerning, and this is something I've spoken about on my stream quite a bit. This is the first time I'm bringing it to a video, but yeah, like, if that is the reason, I just it's hard to find the words to describe it, because this is also something that's affecting me as well. And I've not even mentioned Bubsy, because that's another case, because he is someone that doesn't even really say much on social media. But again, he also did ETC finals. He's done a Tekken World Tour finals. He does master events. You'll see him commentate throughout the year. He's done a good job for many years. I think over either a decade or just under at this point. Same with Spags, and definitely the same with Rip. Been working in this game over a decade. Before there was even really money in this stuff as well. They were doing it out of the passion and love of this game. And for them to turn around and not even really say anything and say this is the reason why, or sorry, you're not doing it, I think is just very disrespectful. I think it is a worrying trend for the future. I think it's almost a bit of a bully tactic, because again, when it comes to Rip and Spag, their only missteps have been criticisms of the game. I myself have been loudly critical of the game. Is that the reason we've been removed? We don't know. We don't know. For Bubsy, for instance, like, again, he's someone who doesn't cause problems, does his job, gets in, gets out, does a lot of, like, here's the thing about working with certain commentators, you learn a lot about them. And obviously me and Bubsy are friends as well, but like, he is someone who if I know I'm commentating with, or I know it's going to be an event, he has long lists of notes and of everything to work with. There's stuff he doesn't know, he will let you know beforehand, and it's just like, the work ethic is ridiculous in those three, that it makes, like, these are some of your best commentators for the game. I'll keep myself out of this discussion, because again, like, it could be different for me. It's like, hey, you're more of a competitor, okay, so we're not gonna, but again, tell me, or is it because I was critical of the game, or is it because we don't know? So this is very worrying, and I think the only thing we have to go on as to why Spag and Rip are removed is being critical of Tekken 8 Season 2, and that worries me, because they made an apology. They apologized for Tekken 8 Season 2. In the emergency patch, they said, we're sorry, we didn't align with what you guys wanted, blah blah blah, and that shows an acknowledgement that you've done something wrong, and you're like, well, sorry, we gave you this patch. But then removing the people who seem to have said that, the people who you can control, because you can't control the players, you can't stop the players from, you could try and ban the players from competing, but they've not breached your code of conduct, then there's going to be problems there, maybe legal issues. But the commentators, you absolutely can, apparently, you absolutely can say, listen, you criticized us, you criticized what we did, that's not okay with us, get out. And that's what it looks like has happened here. But you apologized for the season, you knew it was an issue, everyone had something to say about Tekken 8 Season 2, so why are you punishing? I just don't like it. at the end of the day, I just don't like it, and it does make me worry for the future of this game. Like, what are they going to do? I think how they maneuver this situation will help me decide how I maneuver moving forward, right? At the end of the day, like, I think, you know, no one's untouchable, everyone's replaceable. You know, I'm not saying I'm you know, as a commentator, I have to be on every, you have to get me on. I spoke to Bubsy about this as well. He said a similar thing. It's like, it's not about I'm the best, I deserve this. He's like, but what I do deserve is just the respect to know why. Just I need clarity as to why you would do this. You know, because at the end of the day, these are people's jobs you're talking about. Like, there's a lot of money in this stuff now. You know, this is people could plan financially around something like commentary. Like, I know I'm going to be doing these events, this and the other, and that can be a huge thing for them. So for me, it's like, okay, maybe it's not because I was critical, maybe it's because I'm seen as more of a competitor. But at the end of the day, I just want to know. Just tell me. I think the way commentators are treated can be pretty bad sometimes, because again, there have been other situations where you apply for a job and you don't get a rejection email. You're not told you're not going to get it. You will just find out when that commentary announcement goes live, and here are our commentators. And I think that's the type of stuff that's just not fair to people on like a human level. Because people have to make travel plans. They might not know if you're going to pay for this or the other, so they make travel plans. They spend money, they're out of pocket. You know, they're planning on the event. Some events do say, like, as a disclaimer, like, if you do apply for commentary, like, you know, don't make plans around that, you know, just in case, because, you know, there are some events that will say that. But yeah, this to me is a very bad look for Bandai Namco, for the Tekken team, for whoever's making these decisions. Obviously, I am affected by this, so I have a bit of a skin in the game in this one. I don't like that. But for like Rip, Spag, and Bubsy, who've been doing this for longer than I have, for out of the sheer passion and drive to support this game, it does feel like a spit in the face to the people who have supported this game and supported your game for so long. It feels a bit contemptuous to the Tekken community, competitive community right now, and I will be making decisions moving forward about how they navigate this, because to me, I think it's unacceptable. If they did do something wrong, I think you have to tell them, you have to let them know. And if they didn't, and you're just removing some of the best people at this profession, it's just a nonsense move. It really is. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video.